Thank you, Ceci. And I am hearing that Patriots owner Robert Kraft is taking the stage now. So let's go ahead and listen in to that conference.
Well, welcome and good afternoon, everyone. It's been nearly a quarter of a century since we announced a new head coach. And today I'm happy to welcome you all here as we introduce the 15th head coach of the New England Patriots, Jerod Mayo. It's an honor to share this announcement with Jerod's family, Chantel, and their beautiful children, Shia, Jerod Jr., Cheyenne, and Shiloh. Did I get it right? Jerod's wonderful mom, Denise, and stepfather, Wilson. His brothers, Duran, Derek, and Sherman.
Sherman. I'll get it right. Get it right.
Well, we'll have to.
No, it's all right. It's one of those black names. I'll help you with that.
Well, Stacy told me he was an expert.
Exactly.
You know, he goes right by the book here. And his highly respected grandparents, Walter and Rosa, who I've heard great things about. So I've been running businesses for more than 50 years. And in my experience, the most successful leadership transitions happen when we're privileged to develop talent from within. And that allows us to create a succession plan that allows the candidate to better prepare for the opportunity when he arrives. I first met Jerod in 2008 after we drafted him 10th overall out of the University of Tennessee. On that day, we introduced him to the media, and I remember him immediately coming up to me and saying, Kraft and Mayo, they go together pretty well. So 16 years later, here we are. As a rookie linebacker, he made quite an impact, not just on me, but on enemy ball carriers. That year, he started every game for us with 139 tackles and helped us to an 11-5 record and was named Associated Press Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, despite joining a veteran-laden team, he immediately stepped into a leadership role and was voted the team captain in just his second year. And that leadership position as captain continued for the rest of his playing career. During his playing days, he was a student of the game who loved to watch film and was often described by his coaches and teammates as another coach on the field. After he retired during the 2015 season, he left football to pursue a successful career in business with Optum. And it was no surprise to see him return to the Patriots on the coaching staff in 2019. Football is Jerod's true passion, and I believe coaching was always his destiny. His credentials garner respect, and he relates beautifully to the players. He has been on the coaching staff now for 5 seasons, and each year his role has grown on the defense, which has now been ranked in the top 10 in the league in the 4 seasons he has coached them. His dedication, strategic acumen, and ability to inspire players have been evident. On the field, Jerod's a man of faith. He has a good heart, and he's often described as a leader of men, something I have been proud to witness firsthand. And while I've known Jerod for nearly 16 years, the week we spent together in the Holy Land in 2019 really helped strengthen my convictions about how special Jerod is as a person and how capable I thought he would be as a head coach in this league. There have been many moments in my life that other people couldn't understand, but it was the right decision for me. I did that when I first met Myra. I did that when I first met Dana. I had that same conviction when I hired Bill Belichick, a decision that many questioned at the time and told me I was making a major error. I have done that with business decisions throughout my career. And with Jerod, I knew while observing him in Israel, he was the right person to be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. And that decision has only strengthened as I've observed him over the last 5 years. I've learned to trust my instincts throughout my career, and I trust that Jerod is the right person to lead the Patriots back to the championship level contention and long-term success. So, it is with great excitement and pleasure to introduce the next Patriots head coach, Jerod Mayo.
I appreciate you, Thunder. I call him Young Thundercat, has a young heart. One thing I did learn from you today, I also have a prepared statement. Yours is in like 30 font, Times New Roman, and I'm in 10. So, hey, I'll take that note. Just want to thank my family, first and foremost. I see a lot of you guys on the front row, first 2 rows, and this has definitely been a dream of mine. I know one thing that Thunder talked about was I had always been a coach in his mind. I would say I'm a huge believer in just developing people, whether it's on the football field, whether it's off the football field, in the media world, in business. My calling is to be a teacher and to develop people and help them see pretty much what they don't want to see, but they need to see. So my job has always been that is my calling. Becoming a Patriot, it's never really felt like a job. When I first got here in 2008, I was a first-round draft pick. 2007, you know the season, 2007. Don't worry about that one. But I come into an organization where the culture was established, the people, not only the players, but the people that worked around the building. And I was like, man, maybe I'm the missing piece, right? Maybe I'm the missing piece. So I was drafted in 2008, and then the first game of the season, Tom Brady gets hurt. He's out for the year. Most people wrote us off that season, but that's when I really had an opportunity to see the culture at work. Many people, they look at culture as a retrospective way of either validating success or validating a losing season. I would say here the culture starts at the top. Mr. Kraft and the family starts at the top, but it also has to permeate throughout the organization. And I've always tried to carry that flag for the Kraft family. As he's told you, look, these guys win at a lot. They win at a lot. And I love being here. I took a break. I went to Optum. I needed a break from Bill. I went to Optum for about 4 years. And I came back. And one thing I came back with, I learned a lot at Optum. Larry Renfro, Mike Mateo, those guys. I learned a lot at Optum about diversity, right? About diversity and inclusion. And you better believe it. Being the first black coach here in New England means a lot to me. But those guys taught me you have to take ideas from other people, black, white, green, yellow, it really doesn't matter. Old, young. One thing you'll notice about me in our interaction as we continue to go is I don't like echo chambers. I want people around me that are going to question my ideas or question the way we have done things in the past. Because realistically, this game's a lot different than when I was drafted in 2008. At the same time, that's why I try to spend so much time in developing young men and young women so they know I don't want to teach them, what to think. I want to teach them how to think. And once we get to that point, I think we can get back to where we need to be, at the top. And I'm an open book. I'm honored. I'm ready to go. And I'm excited to be the next head coach of the Patriots.
We'll start with Mike Reese here in the front row.
This question is for Robert. There's going to come a time when you have to turn in a draft card and make a pick official or make a signing official. Who will have the final say on those decisions?
Yeah, well, this is a day we want to celebrate Jerod taking this position. What we know, we have a lot of people internally who have had a chance to train and learn under the greatest coach of all time, and a man whose football intellect is very special. So in the short term, we're looking for collaboration, as our team has a tremendous opportunity to position itself right, given our salary cap space. And, we've never drafted, in my 30 years of ownership, we've never been drafting as low as we're drafting. So we're counting on our internal people, whom we're still learning and evaluating. So we're going to let that evolve and develop. And before the key decisions have to be made, we will appoint someone. And at the same time, we'll probably start doing interviews and looking at people from the outside. But my bias has always been, in all our family companies, to try to develop a culture from within where we understand one another. I'll just give you a little factoid. In the 30 years that we've owned the team, today, so it's really 31, this is the third coach that our family has hired. In that period, there have been 244 coaches hired in the NFL, which means an average of roughly 8 coaches per team, which means there's a turnover every 3.5 years in the teams. We like to get continuity in our company, get the most competent people, and then try to build stability. And so before we just rush and hire people, we want to understand what we have internally. It's a long answer, but an important question.
This question is for Jerod. Jerod, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been reported in recent days you've set up interviews for a defensive coordinator position and special teams coordinator position. I'm curious if you'll open a search for an offensive coordinator, and if so, what traits and experience will you prioritize?
That's a great question. I would say, just like Thunder alluded to, everything's still under consideration. Obviously, the staff that I've been working with isn't the staff that I've chosen, but everything's under evaluation. One thing I would say with all of my coaches, the number one thing is developing people. And with this generation, I mean, back when I first started playing, most of the time guys, coach would say something and guys would do it. I think with this generation, it's about, you have to show them that you care about them before you get into, competency as far as X's and O's are concerned. And that's one thing I feel like with all my coaches, they should know the players. They should know their room better than I do. They're closer to those guys, and they have that day-to-day interaction. But to me, whether we're talking offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, all that stuff is under eval, and my number one thing is I want to bring in developers.